Are you there? Can you see me, Zara? Because, okay, I don't know what is going on with this thing. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Facebook Live hates us, Zara.
It's because we're probably trying to be perfect.
It is. So what's this call about that we're doing on Friday? It's all about perfection, right?
Correct. And do you think the
And
class
how we
has already
get.
started?
Yep, just a little bit, just about this much.
All right.
Because nothing's going well with these Facebook Lives, let me tell you.
It's not going to plan or perfection. That's correct.
It isn't.
I'm going to just share this over a couple of places. So do you want to get chatting about what you want to chat about?
Okay, cool. So Zara and I came up with this call because we were talking about how we try and get things good, right, perfect, and correct. And then we actually stick ourselves because we don't then start the things that we've decided that we'd like to do. So in fact, we start to hold ourselves back and then won't even begin anything because we're stuck in that, that cycle of it has to be right, has to be perfect, has to match our judgments. And we have so many judgments about what perfection is, and then really what is that anyway? So oftentimes the most amazing ideas and things that we have come up with will then stop ourselves in our tracks and won't even begin them or complete them. So we might get halfway through and then not complete them because we've gone into judgment on how it's not quite looking right. So how are you going over there, Zara?
Good. It's getting out there.
Of course. So hi, Margaret. Yay! We finally got it. And Leanne, how you going? I remember when I first started my Access business. I'd had businesses before, and I didn't have a lot of money to spend on my business. So one of the things that I did was I got some cards, like business cards from Vistaprint, and they had some sale on. It was like, like it was just the shipping that would cost. So I got about 250 cards for like $10 or something ridiculous. And they weren't the most perfect cards, but it just got me started in my business. So this is when I started to undo all those places where I wasn't willing to begin and start something because I had decided that it had to be so much greater. And then the same with my website. So I started a website, but I built it myself. And that was something that I would never have been able to do had I not used some of the tools of Access. Because obviously when Zara and I do this call on Friday, we're going to be using the tools of Access Consciousness if you're not familiar with them. But one of the things we use is a clearing statement too, and you can check this out at www.theclearingstatement.com. And it clears all the stuck energy that has held you captive and held you back, and takes you back to the seed of creation and destroys it so that you can have a different possibility available to you. And one of the other things that we use is questions. So question empowers and an answer disempowers. So every time you ask a question, you're inviting the universe to contribute to something different, something greater, a different possibility to show up for you. So given that I started to use these tools in the past, I had been trying to start a website and I had written some ideas down and was going to possibly sell some products online, like health products and things like that, because I was definitely in loving all the health thing, wellness business, because I'd been in it for such a long time. But I was also aware I had my kids, so I needed to make things easy. And I just couldn't get started, literally couldn't get started. And because I had decided that the website had to be some sort of perfection and I wasn't able to do it. So eventually, when I came into the awareness of the Access tools and started to use them, I actually built my own website. It was insane. I'd never thought, as I said, that I could do something like that. And it was a way of, beginning something and then those little small steps, even though they weren't perfect and the website wasn't perfect, got me to where I am today. And I know that in 5 years' time that I'll be looking back and going, well, you know, that might not have been perfect then. And so it's like, what is perfect? Zara, like, what is perfect?
That's a great question, because perfect is
Like,
almost,
how do we measure that?
yeah, it's almost like this arbitrary word that we use, and the measurement is basically based on individuals. It's like taste. You know, it's like art, it's like wine, it's like food. Whatever you, it's like what may be perfect for you may not be perfect for me. So then perfect becomes just this thing that we all strive for, and this thing that we buy into from this reality. You know, whatever you think a perfect body is like, you see a picture or someone in the street and you go, oh my God, that's my perfect. You know, I could see the same person and go, oh yeah, that's it. So then we strive for these things that are put in front of us rather than looking for what will work for us.
Works for us.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
And it's like, and as we were talking, I was getting like, what about the perfect relationship?
what does that look like?
You know, we're striving for, what does that look like? Because we all have these different needs and values, and we've all grown up in different households, and we all have our own ideal of what perfection is in a relationship. And that's why a lot of relationships don't work.
Yes.
That person cannot measure up to your idea of perfection.
Correct. And the idea of like perfection in business, the perfection with family, you know, the perfection with freaking everything and anything, like the perfect way your
children.
house. Yes, children. You know, the way your house should look, the way you should look. Like a lot of this stuff, the idea of perfection is just not real. You know, and it's so heavy trying to get it perfect, trying to get it right, that we spend so much energy, effort, and money and time into this that is not real.
And the energy is a big one, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because how exhausting is that when you're trying to get something perfect?
Absolutely.
When you're trying to measure something that isn't measurable.
Also, and there's so much control that has to go into getting it perfect and right that it can almost drive you insane.
Yeah, literally.
Yes, literally. Literally.
That I was just when you said having control, I was looking at that statement they use in Access, one of my favorites. Like, what would it take to be out of control, out of different definition, out of linearity, out of concentricities, out of form, structure, and significances for all eternity? I love that saying,
which is
allows you to,
which is totally opposite to perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, because what does it actually mean for us to be out of control?
I think,
like, what does that actually look like?
Yeah.
In a world where we're trying to control everything and where we're being controlled, like, what does it actually look like to be out of control? And how much discomfort would that have to create in our worlds?
Yes. And how much does perfect control us? Oh.
Yes. Ouch.
Yes.
Everything that brings up.
Yes. Gosh, just let go of it. Oh my God, just be willing to let go of it. Yeah. So this call that we've got coming up is actually about getting rid of the curse of perfection. Like, it does...
Because it's literally a curse, right?
Correct. It's a curse of this reality that we've bought into. And, you know, that's that buying into something is a choice that we actually make. And if you don't like that choice, you can change it. You can choose something different. And that's where this call is going to start looking at getting rid of the curse of perfection and choosing something different that's going to work for you.
And if your world is not showing up the way you would like, if things aren't working out the way you would like them to, then is it possible that you are a control freak and a perfectionist of magnitude? Is that a possibility? And I wonder if you were willing to let go of that curse and willing to look at some different possibilities and ask some questions and start looking at places that you could choose that could work for you, how would your life then show up?
And look,
What would it be like?
and being a perfectionist and a control freak is not a wrongness. Like, it's not a wrongness. It's just a choice you make of how you would like to create your life and your living and your business, of, you know, of how you operate as well. And like, I know I've done it for ages. Like, I'm control freak and perfectionist. And it wasn't till like last year at the end of year classes that I got called out on it. And I'm like, oh,
Ow.
ouch. Yes.
Bit of a sledgehammer to the head.
Absolutely. Because in my reality, I thought I was the opposite. You know? Yes, I know. And then like to look at it, and now I looked at like the way I was and the way I operate. I'm like, holy shit. I'm just going to acknowledge that I am creating from perfect and I am creating from control. And rather than judging myself for it, I went, oh my God, I love my life right now. And I've been creating it from perfect and control. I wonder what it would be like if I didn't. If I didn't create it from perfect and control, like how much more would be able to show up, and how much more would I be able to create?
And I wonder how much more you're willing to receive too when you let go of the perfection and the control.
Exactly.
And how much more that other people can contribute to you. Because oftentimes, like, we'll be in business and we'll go, I'll handle this myself because I know I'll get it right. I'll handle this myself because if I do it, then if someone fucks up, I can't, you know, I don't have to have a go at them or whatever, you know?
Exactly.
And yeah, because I know I did that for a long time. I was doing my business on my own and I wasn't, you know, getting the contribution from anyone because I was like, I can handle this myself. And it got to a point where I was like, well, I actually can't anymore. There's things that I can't do in my business, and or I don't want to because it's not fun for me.
Exactly.
So I started to invite other people into my business to do the things that I couldn't handle as well anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of them was you, actually, Zah.
Yay.
You started to do all my back end. And, yeah, and it's created so much.
Well, yeah.
And then I got some of my graphics as well. And yeah.
Exactly. Like what you said about, you know, when we're doing and being perfect.
Thanks, Margaret.
Yes, Margaret, as much as we're loving this conversation, it's super uncomfortable at the same time, you know. Like these classes
and high on carb as well.
These classes tend to facilitate us at the same time as, you know, we're putting it out there and contributing to changing and facilitating everyone else. And trust me, getting on this Facebook Live has been a 48-hour experience of total imperfection.
It was quite funny. We were like, in the end, we were like, okay, let's just not do this Facebook Live because yesterday we couldn't do it because we thought there was a button for the PC and then worked out that it is not. And then so we worked out that we could do it on the phone. And then Zah had to jump on another call, so she got busy. And we're like, okay, we'll do it at 10 o'clock this morning. And I'm texting Zah going, hey, you ready to do this 10 o'clock this morning? And she's like, not answering. And I'm like, holy shit, okay, I've got stuff to do, like make banana bread. Very important.
Super important.
Production for the morning. So I like put the shower on, I was about to jump in the shower, and she texts me and she goes, oh, I'm ready. And I said, well, I'm kind of naked now, got the shower running. And she said there was all this stuff. You said there was all this stuff going on with your internet.
Yeah, it had gone.
It's like, holy.
I had internet at home. However, what we figured out yesterday was we couldn't use the computer, right, to get this whole two-person on. It had to be on my phone. And now there's no internet on my phone. Like for 45 minutes before the call, I'm like, oh my Lord, what is going on? But here we are.
And it's quite, and then here we are. And we made it work at another time.
We did.
Fine.
We
and
did.
It's funny because there's so much where you could go into the like judgment of yourself that you haven't been able to do it right, and how dumb are we that we couldn't find the button.
Exactly.
Simple. How do we not know this? I actually said to Zara, how do you not know this? You do this calls with Catherine all the time. She goes, I know, I've seen it. It was just ridiculous, but we're laughing about it because it's, what else do you do?
Exactly.
Like you can either cry, sit in a corner and go, I've failed miserably.
Yeah.
Or you can enjoy the craziness of life.
Exactly.
You know? Life is crazy and it throws you curveballs, and you can either like embrace the curveballs with fun and humor, or go and rock in a corner somewhere.
What do they say? When life throws you lemons make lemonade.
Like, yes.
I love that. I love
Yep.
that.
Or make a lemon tart.
Lemon pie.
Or lemon pie.
Anything lemon.
So it's like, you know, with perfection, it's like nothing's going to be perfect in life. Nothing. And what if it's like about how you can get around it, or what you can be or do to make it change?
Yeah.
Make the situation change.
Yeah.
Or if you can't change it, you know, like one of the great 4 questions in Access is, what is this? Okay, so you've got a situation coming up. It's funky. It's uncomfortable. You know, what is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how do I change it? Right? 4 questions to function from, because it gets you into question about what else is possible in that moment when it is all funky and yuck. And you don't have to know the answer straight away. It's like you ask the questions, and then the molecules of the universe change, and the awareness comes to you somewhere. So ask it, go away, do something else, or you may have to ask it a few times. But this is a muscle you build with this stuff too, with the asking the questions, because we're taught and we're ingrained and entrenched to have have the answer and go into conclusion. It's so easy to do conclusion, and we don't often go into questions. So what if you did ask a question there, and what else could get you out of that funk?
Yeah. A question will empower, and a question is not to find an answer, it's to find an awareness. Now, and like the energy of perfect is, for me anyway, is very much like this stop energy. It's like, once I have it perfect, and it's like this one stop point where, you know, the perfect relationship. Well, what happens after?
The right amount of money.
Yeah. Well, what happens that 1 second after you have it perfect?
Yeah.
Like there's very much a stop energy, and it's very much like an answer where it's not movable. It's like, this is how it has to be, and that's it. And it's like you have blinkers on. You can't see anything. You're not aware of anything else. You don't give a shit about anyone else. It's like, that's it, and that's where I'm going. So, you know, this call that we've got is about giving up that curse, taking the blinkers off, you know, expanding your awareness. And like Danielle said, looking at, like, asking questions to see what else is possible. Like, you know, here's a twist. What if you thought was perfect was actually the worst case scenario ever?
Yes. Yeah.
And what if there was something...
I've just met the perfect man. I'm going to get married and I'm going to be happy forever.
I know.
And then he turns out to be a serial killer.
I know.
Oh, God.
And we've all come across
and then
those.
He's had 4 kids with him. It's like, holy shit, what happened? Well, did you ask a question? No, you just decided you had the perfect man.
Correct. And how many, like, projections, expectations, rejections, separations, and judgments, you know, do we have to create, conclude, and decide upon to get perfect?
Yeah.
Like, just that
and then
little...
when it doesn't show up as perfect, and when it doesn't show up as perfect, we go into the judgment, the rejection of how it hasn't shown up the way we decided it was supposed to show up.
Yes.
And then, you know...
And the wrongness of us.
Judgment city.
Yeah. And we make our...
From upstairs.
You know, we make ourselves wrong for something that's a lie. So it's like, you know, have a look at where are you functioning, operating, and creating your living from, your business, your relationships. Is it from a lie? Yeah, your money, your financial situation, your everything. Is it from a lie?
Your friendships.
Or is it from something that's true for you, and that is fun for you, and that will work for you?
Yeah. And I get that, like, all this, like, the knock-on effect of perfection, big one is A, judgment, and B, rejection. Because how many people do we reject in our lives when they haven't shown up the way we decided they should?
Correct.
Or how many businesses do we reject because, or income streams and things like that, because they haven't shown up the way we've decided that they
Yes.
should,
Yeah.
rather than asking the question, and so on. And so many places, rejection and judgment is huge part of this whole perfection thing.
Yes. And where are we not willing to receive contribution? And where are we not just willing to receive in general, you know, due to our points of views that we have, due to, like you said, the judgments and the conclusions and the computations of what's good, right, and perfect. Like if
and the fear of other people judging us.
Correct. If we were willing to let go of one area of our living, you know, and not create from perfect or create towards perfect, I wonder what that would create. And yes, it is super uncomfortable because we're so used to being and doing a certain way to get what we want.
Yeah.
And now, like you and I know, through the tools and processes and clearings of access consciousness, it doesn't have to be like that. Like life doesn't have to be hard. You know, it can be ease. It can flow and it can fall into place.
Yeah, and even in that struggle, it can be ease.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, like I said before, you know, life does throw you curveballs, and it's about having ease with the curveballs as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't, you know, you can only choose for you, and you can only change you. Who knows what anyone else in your universe is going to do? And as much as you think you have an idea of what you think they're going to choose or what you think they're going to do, it just doesn't happen.
No.
That's those curveballs.
Yeah. Cool.
So if you guys would like to get rid of the curse of perfect, it is, let me just have a look. It's April 19th, and it's at, I think we said 6:30 p.m.
30.
Yes, April 19th.
6:30 p.m. Australian Standard Time.
Yes,
Yep.
so I'm going to put the Facebook.
Which is a Thursday night.
Yes, so I'm going to put the Facebook event in the comments if people want to hop on and have a look. It's going to be on Zoom, so we're going to get to see you guys and your awesome bodies and your faces. And when we facilitate, it's so much easier when we can see you, so we can facilitate both your body and your being. And if you don't know that you have a body and a being and that there's something different, get on the call and we'll explain that one to you as well.
To see you. And also there's a chat bar. So if you can't, you're in a space where you've got a lot of noise around you and things like that, there's a chat bar that you can ask your questions from. You also get the recordings, which is super awesome because you can listen back over and over and over again and get the clearings. You'll receive the clearing loops as well.
Yeah.
PDF of the clearing loops. And the voice loops and the PDF of the written clearings.
Yeah.
So it's,
Plus, Danielle and I have just come out of 4 days of Global Foundation with the founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, and the co-founder, Dr. Dane here. And I've picked up some clearings from there that I'm like, oh, this would be really cool for our perfection call. Awesome. So I've noted those. So you're going to have, a lot of really up-to-date, awesome, dynamic, potent clearings to really get rid of everywhere where you've bought into the idea of and the point of view of perfect that isn't serving you. It's not working for you. And if there's any places and spaces in your reality and your living that aren't working, ask a question like, okay, so am I trying to be good, right, and perfect with this? Am I trying to get it good, right, and perfect? And see what shows up for you. And, we'll also talk about the light heavy tool, which is a really cool one in Access that's super simple to use. Basically, what's light is true for you and what's heavy is not true for you. And we'll go into more depth and detail about that on the call as well. However, just for you to take away, have a look at your own living and your business and your family and your relationships and your money and your, whatever it is that isn't working for you. And if you ask the question, if it's light that you're operating from perfect, join us. April 19, 6:30.
Yep. PM on Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday night for us. So it might be Wednesday in your world if you're from another country.
Yep.
Because we invite people from all over the world, which is such a cool thing about Zoom. We can connect with everybody. It's not just from Australia.
Yeah. And it's
which is really fun.
it's an awesome contribution. And like, if you think that you're the only one, sorry, you're not. You're not the only one that has the curse of perfection. You're not the only one that controls. You're not the only one that has shit days. You're just not the only one. There's 8 billion people on the planet, and I can pretty much guarantee that there's someone else going through something similar, if not the same as you. You know, and the contribution that everyone is to each other by asking what isn't working for them with questions is massive.
And that vulnerability to choose it too.
Yeah.
To actually go, hey, I really want to look at this and I really want to change it.
Yes.
Rather than just putting the blinkers and blindfolders on and going through life expecting everyone else around you to change. Sometimes it's awesome just to look at yourself and go, hey, what can I be or do different here?
Yeah.
You know, what change could I be that could change all of this with total ease?
Correct. And I wonder how much of this stuff we actually hide from ourselves, you know, and don't actually come up until we're on a call like this with other people and they're asking questions. And then all of a sudden, I know for me, I've gone, oh my God, that's actually true for me too. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
You know, what a
and then
gift.
It unravels it for you as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. What a gift all of that is, and the gift that we can be to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it's totally amazing. So I really look forward to facilitating with you, Zara.
Me too.
And I really look forward to the people that, well, we've already got some people on the call already that have chosen, and I look forward to seeing who else would like to come and join us and play in the playground of possibilities. Because our lives have changed so dynamically with these tools, both of us, in such different ways. And so we invite you to have something great for you too.
Yes. Yeah.
Or even information if you want to use it with your clients. Like maybe you're in the wellness industry and maybe you're dealing with clients that have some perfection and control issues as well that come up for them, and maybe this could give you information for that too.
Yeah.
So there's so many avenues.
Yeah. And Danielle mentioned that it's going to be like a worldwide online Zoom. If you want to know what your time and date in the world is, have a look at the Facebook event. There's a time and date link there that you can have a look, and then you can add it to your calendar. We can't wait to hang out and play with you.
Yeah. Could we put the lead pages link up too?
Yes,
with that,
I can do that as well. Yep.
And that will send everyone straight to that sign up page if you're like, yes, this has got my number.
Look at that. You've got choice, people. You've got choice and options.
And if you're resisting, it's got your number as well.
Yeah. If this is making you want to vomit.
That call's not for me.
Yep. If you're like, oh no, that's so not for me, it's for you.
If you've switched off and you've run out the door really, 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 really fast, yeah, it's probably for you. Yay!
Awesome. Thank you for
All right, so yeah, we'll see you then.
Yes, April 19th, 6:30 p.m. Check it out.
Cool. Thanks, Zara.
Bye.
And thanks for everyone watching.
Yes.
Bye.
See ya.